Welcome back to ToBeSeen.com. I'm Joe Dub. We are here to spread some joy and shed some light on ghosts from
Yeah.
CBS. And of course, I would not be myself if I were being remiss in introducing my good buddy, my co-host, Bill Morgan. Bill, how are you? How was this week?
I'm doing all right. It was a fast week,
Right?
Yeah, time goes faster, I think, as you get older.
Oh boy. Oh, I'm screwed. I
Yeah,
was just
I'm really screwed.
I felt like I sneezed and it was another week. It was insane.
It is.
I got an electric car now and I went to charge it and I think it was like last week. It lasts for about a week. Despite what the numbers tell you, it's only going to last a week. And I don't really drive that much. So like I went on an adventure today just to really push it and then I realized okay, I can't really push this car. So the most I can do is like 100 miles. But speaking of miles, the segue. We've got an episode that ran the miles and really put a sign of hope for the hopeless in this week's episode of Ghosts. So let us get into first glance in the
All right.
synopsis. All right, this episode was called Smooching and Smushing. Jay and Sam and the ghost
Yeah.
attempt to fix their ghost trap in the hopes of getting Sopsies across the ghost boundary to visit his longtime crush, Shiki. I don't know. I was not expecting anything that happened in this episode, and I was like pleasantly
No.
surprised. I don't know about
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I thought the title meant sex because Jay had said when Trevor had his funeral, yeah, Jay had mentioned, yeah, try to get a couple old people to smush. So that's what I thought it was that term using
Oh.
from. I'm too old to know those terms, but that's the only place I've ever heard it.
Well, I heard smooshing from I think it was no, not Family Guy. Was it what's the name of that show? Futurama.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, because apparently sex meant smoosh. We
Oh,
smoosh. Yeah, so
yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
I knew that from. So I was thinking the same thing. Smooching I knew was kissing, but and
You
then it
try to
turns out
say
yeah,
smooching and smushing 5 times fast.
I know that. No, thank you. No, thank you. But and it turns out what they really meant in this episode was literal smush.
Yeah,
So
that was a surprise.
wild. I was shocked. I was shocked. Well, let's get into
Yeah.
this episode. Let's dive
All
deep.
right.
Let's get into the thick of it. Well, my friend, this one was a surprise.
Yeah.
At first I kind of saw how the of feelings and emotions were happening and being shared by Sasopsis and our girl from the 1920s.
Joan?
Yeah, Joan. I really was like, oh, there's
Yeah.
something here with them.
Yeah.
Her name is Taylor Ortega.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and for sure, she's actually not too far. She's a fellow Jersey girl.
Oh, oh, wow.
Yeah, she was in a show called Succession and Kim
I've
Possible. That's where she
heard of that.
was. You might have
Yeah.
seen her somewhere in those worlds. But yeah,
You
I
keep
think
freezing up here.
it happens. Don't worry, it'll be
Oh,
smooth. Um, yeah. So in this particular episode, it seemed like Sopsies was like, "All right, well, this is the plan. This is what's going to happen." And then as soon as they sat down, there was a connection, and it was like, "Oh wait, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you're the
yeah.
one." So it
Yeah.
was
Twisty.
surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
twisty. It was very
Yeah.
twisty. What did you think about this one?
I liked it. I liked that I was surprised, and because that doesn't always happen.
Mhm.
Um, they did use the old TV trope of someone overhearing part of a conversation and getting the entire thing wrong, but
Mhm.
that's still fun. Um, I like the fact that Flower is still obsessed with Sass losing his virginity because it's
Oh
just
my
killing
god.
her.
Yeah.
How could anyone
Have
wait?
sex right now. It was like, "Gee, whoa, slow down."
That, yeah, that cracked me up when she just the way she said it. I will say I was thinking, you know how they had the guy come out to repair it from what is the name of the country?
I
Slovenia or
thought
whatever?
Poland or
It
so
was had a weird name on it.
okay.
I'm sure it's made up. But
Yeah.
anyhow, I thought for sure they were gonna have Freddie back and see if he
Mm,
could repair the machine. Because I thought I saw or heard something that the actor is gonna make another guest shot, but I may be wrong about that. That's
wow.
why I thought maybe Freddie would come back because he's the one that got that ghost trap in the first place.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, for me, I was excited to see Joan.
Mhm.
I think
I like
she's
her.
I like her. I think she's,
Mhm.
like, she plays that role perfectly,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
the actress, there's like I said, she's stunning. I think she's absolutely gorgeous,
Very, very
and
good looking.
yeah, and I think that her and Saps are good together, but the whole
Yes.
Pete thing, I was like, "I'll try it out," and then, get the words out because she really fell for Pete, and, that
Mhm.
trope was just, "Okay, here we go." But then the other
Yeah.
thing was
But
Thor sacrificing himself or
yeah, after being
after
humiliated.
being to see if
Yeah.
I love Roberta's
I
accent.
love how
"Oh,
Alberta.
Thor's never gonna
Yeah,
let
that's
us
what I was gonna say, yeah.
play." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
that was good. What did you think about the B plot with, Trevor and Hetty and Flower?
I thought that was good, but it shows how
Mhm,
smart Flower really was, and it's like,
mhm.
why did you fall for it's like the drugs probably just threw
Yeah,
her off. That's gotta be what throws
'cause
her mind off
the
because
last time Trevor and Hetty came up with a plan, she figured it out too, and then, she zoned back out and forgot all about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this time, like, she was good. She was with them the whole time and she figured it
Mhm.
out. And then, like, they started to do the math. So that means we are a quarter of a half foot. The
Yeah,
half
we were
foot,
outwitted.
we're
Yeah,
outwitted by a full course.
yeah.
So we're a quarter of a half foot. And she's already, like, the actors, she started looking around, like, we started doing the math and she, like, freezing. It was great. It was great. It was great comedy
Yeah,
because their
yeah.
facial
Power
expressions.
Friends failed.
Yeah. Again, you just don't mess with flour.
Yeah,
That's the lesson they should have
I
learned.
know.
Um, Weird that he has a feet thing. I worked in the shoe business for 19 years. I don't have a I don't
Apparently,
have a foot thing,
yeah.
but that guy, Trevor,
Apparently he does.
yeah, because he was getting in. I was like, "Oh, you could smell him." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh god, why?"
But I'm not a
Yes.
creep. We've established that already.
Yeah, yeah, he's something.
I don't know why he's so or how why they have him so obsessed with that movie,
Yeah.
Cutting Edge. I think I saw it once back in I think it was the 80s,
Mm.
and I mean, it was alright, but I don't it's kinda interesting how he's obsessed with that romance because it's kind of a romantic movie, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a skater movie and, you know, WB Sweeney's in it. I And Terry O'Quinn is in it. I don't know if you
Oh,
remember Terry O'Quinn. That's
oh,
the
yeah.
infamous stepfather.
He was on Lost.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
Stepfather with, Shelley Hack. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
and I know him from
He was
Star
really good
Trek.
in Lost.
He was excellent in Lost, and he was the Admiral
Yeah.
in Star Trek: Next Generation. That was the one where
Oh,
they had the
you're right,
phase
yeah.
ship that got stuck in the rocks, and they had the one ensign, like yeah. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Michael Hogan was also in that. Michael Hogan's from Battlestar Galactica. He played Saul Tigh.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, he's very ill. We won't be,
Oh,
seeing
that's
him
too
too
bad.
much. His last thing was, a
Mhm,
voice work because I think
mhm.
something happened to him. I know he was very ill, but great guy, great cast. It's a total 80s movie, so it's very
Yeah,
rom-com, weird, kinda
yeah.
like, what was it? The Teenage Witch one of the Sabrinas, they had a movie, and it was
Oh,
they just burst out into, like, dancing in the middle of it, and it was like,
oh.
"What is going on here?" You know?
Um, I like how clueless Sam is with social cues, when she was going in there. She interrupted their little special moment to get
Yeah,
more information on, collaborate on the script that she's trying because, Joan took her under her wing
right.
apparently from last week.
Yeah. She's like, "Very terrible time," like, because they were really, um I think that was the moment that maybe he would have just gone and stopped totally
Mhm.
from,
Yep, had she not interrupted, yeah. I
yeah,
think it would've too.
yeah, I think that all the whole thing wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened.
I love how, blunt that might be too strong that Joan is,
Mhm.
and I like her sarcasm. And that matches with Sass. He's very sarcastic,
Yeah,
so I think they are a good match.
that's true. I agree.
Yeah.
Um I am excited to see what's gonna happen with the 2 of them because,
Yeah,
as we know, the plan didn't work, but
yeah.
what about our special guest this week? The, creepy Ghostbuster.
Oh, yeah. I liked when he came in and he had that big gun.
Yeah,
It reminded me of Ghostbusters.
that's true, same here, and I loved when he pointed it at everybody and Thor hid behind Alberta. "I was protecting your backside."
Her backside.
Yeah,
That was good.
he
And what cracked me
yeah,
up is when they showed him, of course, Isaac yelled, "Retreat," because he's good at that. And I
yeah,
just watching it, I mean, ahead he was just like that, frozen. And they
yeah,
didn't run away. Isaac's the only one that really ran away because that's what he's known for, retreating.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so that was fine, but,
Yeah.
like, him actually going that extra mile and fixing the ghost trap so it
Mhm.
expands so they can take 100 ghosts in and
Yeah.
him really hating ghosts, like, what's his deal? Like,
Yeah.
why what's
Something
up?
happened.
You think something happened to him or
Maybe he had to have some kind of experience to hate ghosts that much.
but he's also like, I don't know if he was messing with them or he has some type of empathy or
Mm,
something that, he's
mm,
an empath or something because he was like, "You have ghosts," and or because the
uh,
ghost trap, they were like, "Oh, yeah, he's obviously we have ghosts
yeah,
because we have the ghost trap." So, I'm not
yeah,
sure
yeah, maybe it's
which it
intuitive
was.
or something. Yeah, I would like them to have like a psychic come on there and mess with her somehow, or a fake psychic, or realizing she's a real psychic. Maybe I don't know. I
Oh,
just
that would be
wish
fun.
they would go down that avenue.
That
I
would be fun.
wonder since Thor out, he made the ghost trap blow up. I wonder if what Isaac was saying, maybe they missed an opportunity where they can get out of there, leave the property. So
But it's gonna be one of those things, is this a minute they come out of the ghost trap, are they gonna get
that's,
zapped back?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Or can they
yeah,
only exist in the ghost trap outside of there? Like, there's a lot
yeah,
of,
yeah,
uh, contingencies that they maybe not think of.
yeah. My
Uh
theory is if they get in the ghost trap, they just have to stay in there. If Sass got out, he would be sucked back to Woodstone, or if they were at the Woodstone, Shiki would be sucked back to the newspaper if she got out. But
Yeah.
but the
Yeah,
writers are creative, so they could come up with some kind of different storyline on that.
yeah. Or maybe they put, like, a salt square and they can stay within the salt square like they always do in those witch movies. Uh,
Yeah,
that's a
that'll work.
possibility.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of different ways that they could have taken it, and I was
yeah.
surprised in the entire way they took it.
Mhm.
They were kinda doing the Crocodile Dundee thing almost,
Yeah.
where they were gonna take, um, Pete and go to the airport and try to
Mhm.
get Joan back, and
Yeah. The last minute where they run to the airport, "Don't get on that plane, I do love you."
yeah, yeah. I was
Mm,
kinda thinking that that would happen, but they really kept it tight in the
mhm.
mansion this week,
Yeah.
so we didn't get that.
The other thing I think's funny is in the back half of the season, now the big thing, or one of the big things, is they're making fun of Sam's sweaters. They did that
Yeah,
again, yeah, because you know how they always Thor always makes fun of Alberta's hat, so maybe this
right.
is them making fun of her sweater kind of thing. It's a
Yeah, it's a
running gag.
transition. Yeah, transition to something
Yeah,
different,
yeah,
which would be kinda cool.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I liked how Joan was a little bit selfless with Sasapi, so that gives her more character than just being the, 1940s, sarcastic. She has a little more depth to her. I
right.
think we're gonna see a little bit more of that. There's gonna be some kind of twist, though.
Oh, imagine well, I mean, I don't really foresee anything bad happening with Joan. I could see,
Mm.
it working out because they, they really can't it's not like she could do anything because she can roam, but,
Leave.
like
Yeah.
yeah, she could
Break
leave
his
him.
heart.
Yeah, break him. "I'm sorry, honey. I had to love you and leave you. That's just how the way I roll. Ah,"
That's a perfect
How was you thought she was in the room with you, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I did. I'm like, "Wow. Is she throwing her voice?"
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the only downside I could see
Yeah.
happening, or maybe she'll get freaked out by the basement
Well,
ghost, whom we haven't seen in the last
yeah.
2 weeks.
Oh,
No
yeah.
basement ghost.
Well, they do tend to keep some characters, for multiple episodes. Like Carol's still around. We don't see her often, but she's still around.
Yeah,
I
same
mean,
thing
yeah,
with Nigel, he's still
'cause they,
around, but
yeah, they got to give Sass a little bit of time to be,
yeah,
romantically happy,
yeah.
or sexually fulfilled, as Flower would say,
Have sex now.
sexually sated. Yeah,
Yeah. We still don't know how Sapsi's died.
Mm-mm. That's gonna be interesting when they say that or
Yeah.
tell us that, because I hope it's really creative, 'cause they usually are creative because we've
Mhm.
waited so long to find out.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the ones that we're missing, and,
Mhm. I think that's the last
um,
real question.
that's no, we
Of the
don't know
main 8? Who?
Carol's power. We don't know Carol's
Oh,
power.
okay. I was thinking about just the main 8, but you're right, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know Carol's, so the main 8, that
Mhm,
he's the
mhm.
last question mark. We know
Yes.
how Thor died, we know how Trevor died.
Mhm,
We know everybody. Pete, was obvious,
mhm.
but, yeah, no, he's the last of the main 8 that we don't know about, their death. We know Alberta
I
was
like
murdered by
the
Hetty's son.
Mhm. They're very creative on how they do that because I did not see Hetty's, suicide coming
No,
at all. I
no.
just figured it was a drug overdose, like she said, that made sense, but
Yeah,
they're so creative, which I like,
yeah,
For the show to last a long time, it's gonna have to be really creative, and I think they have it. The writers are all funny, and they come up with different, scenarios that you don't see coming.
yeah.
It's not the standard sitcom.
No. Well, it's not a standard sitcom anyway because it's all,
Yeah,
like, ghosts and things.
right, and it
Um, when now that they have this blooming, budding relationship with Tops
yeah,
and our girl Joan,
mhm.
uh, what's gonna be the things that happen around that? I mean,
Mm, that's a good question. I wonder if this time Thor will be jealous of the relationship that he doesn't get
ooh,
to spend time with Sass.
oh, that would be interesting. A
Yeah,
nice little reversal
yeah,
of role
flip
there.
on that, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I love how he sacrificed himself or was willing to sacrifice himself to save his friend.
yeah, that was amazing, and I also love how they jump into the back seat and then jump out of the car. Like,
Yeah, I
that whole
saw the behind the
transition.
scenes on that today. Yeah.
Oh, how was that? How
Yeah, and
was that?
that was it was pretty cool. It's like when, Nancy was, possessing Sam, they
Oh,
had a
yeah.
behind the scenes where she just rolled out, had the green screen behind her, and she just did a tumble on her own, and then they put it into the show,
Mm,
and I saw it was a green screen in the car, or not in the car, but they were just sitting there, and they would, act like they just popped in, and they did, like, 10 different kinda takes with looking at each other and screaming, and then they had another scene where they showed them with the green screen and them just rolling out. So it's kind of
that's
it's fun how they do that.
yeah.
It's that they could do these kinds of things now.
I love the deep dives you go into, like, take it a level further and get, like, behind the scenes. That's one of my favorite things. I'm
Yeah.
like, "I wonder what he's gonna tell me this week, from behind the scenes."
Sometimes
So,
think, is
thank you
that
for
too
that.
much?
No, no, keep them coming. That's good stuff. People love it. Um, the other thing, so no basement ghost. We still haven't had a who's the ghost, the young girl that got killed by the axe murderer? Because we still have
Oh, Stephanie.
Stephanie, yeah. We still don't
Yeah,
know. I
she's
still think the axe murderer might have killed Crash as well.
yes, but he might have got sucked off right away because he
But
would be there if he wasn't because he would be confined like she would be.
you would think, but we haven't
Yeah.
seen him.
It's true because Chris he flew away and he, you know,
Yeah, he got sucked off, the guy that
no,
she was dating.
oh, I saw about Chris, the stripper from
Oh,
last
yeah,
where
yeah,
he
yeah,
where
yeah,
he
yeah.
flew away.
Right.
Because if he touched ground, I'm assuming he will be sucked back to Woodstone, even if he's in Australia. Because he said it only
Oh.
happened while he could only do it while he's flying
Oh,
or
yeah, so
fly.
he'll probably
Yeah,
come back. He'll probably
yeah,
be back. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe they're going to get Nigel and Isaac back together. And then he comes back as a fly in the ointment of their romance again. I don't know.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Or if I'm watching too many soap operas. Because there's
And then
always every wedding is always interrupted on a soap.
yeah, that's true, that's true. Another thing that I think could lead into something big is the guy with the pierogies, the Ghostbusters, so to speak. He
Yeah.
might be the one to be able to stop, um, Woodstone, the
Oh.
robber baron.
Ah, that's a
B
good.
Yeah, because
I
maybe
never
that
thought of that.
gun actually does something, and he can
Hmm.
zap him out, or
Yeah,
zap
from
them more,
existence
or just at least send him back to
to hell.
yeah, get,
Yeah,
he
I
can go
like
down.
Elias.
Yeah,
I like his
Elias.
visits, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like the fir
I'm guaranteeing that he's gonna show up for the finale.
oh, yeah. Yeah, I like his how he interacts with Hetty. I think it's hilarious. As she got more bolder, as she gets more exposure to the modern world. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. Have you noticed that? Okay, the ghosts are from different time periods, and
Mhm,
they're getting exposed to current things, right?
mhm.
And get the lingo or things that are happening. But I think all of them are just a little off because they know they're not in their original era.
Right.
So when they get talking, and then suddenly they'll just throw something in from their era that makes absolutely no sense because they know that that doesn't happen anymore. So I think they're all just still a little in their era, but in the modern time too, because
Oh,
something they'll say doesn't make any sense because they should know better if they've been in the modern era for so long.
you're right.
But that's just my
Mhm.
it may be nothing to it. That's just my thinking.
Observation.
Yeah.
No, I think that you might be onto something, but I think we're steadily heading deadly into a confrontation with Elias, and I think
Yeah.
he may end up having some of the ghosts go down on. And, like, it could be a Thor. Just random speculation.
Yeah, of
Sopsy's
course.
returning the favor to Thor and jumping in front of Thor to save him from the gun or,
Oh,
Elias. So there's a
yeah,
lot
I
of
guess
ways this could
Elias.
play
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, I
I
it's I 'cause next week Pincus returns.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Trevor's former coworker Princess and his daughter Abby show up to Woodstone Mansion.
It'll be
Um,
interesting. It's his
yeah.
it's his boy.
Oh, Trevor gets the surprise of his afterlife. Oh.
I wonder what that's gonna be.
Oh, that's
Because
gonna
he's
be
already seen his brother and he's seen Tara Reid
yeah.
and his parents. So,
So that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a
yeah.
good Trevor-centric episode.
Yeah, why didn't he get sucked off when he got all that closure?
Yeah, that was weird.
Mhm. And Jay had that same reaction, when they saw somebody got sucked off, and he was hoping it was Trevor,
Yeah.
and he said, "Yeah, gave him a funeral, he got so much closure," and Trevor's like, "Still here, deal with it."
Yeah, yeah. Team money.
Team money, yeah. Does
Team
he
money.
really do that all the time? Jay really
Yeah,
became a ghost.
yeah, yeah. I don't know,
Yeah,
that's a good what I mean, the show's probably gonna end with, some of them being at some point getting
yeah,
sucked off.
yeah.
There's gotta be
Well,
something. Go
have you
ahead.
seen the ending of Ghost UK?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet, but
Mm,
I've heard a little bit of I know the couple, Sam and Jay, of their version,
mhm.
drove away from them, and they were
Yes.
still there. I don't know if any of them got sucked off or none of them did,
Uh,
'cause I'm still
uh,
on the 4th, 5th episodes.
okay, I'm not gonna tell you because that's gonna be our summer adventure.
Oh, okay. Good
Yeah,
point.
yeah, we're gonna take a little break, and then we'll be back in the summer, like, in June, because
Yeah,
I think the show goes off in May.
right, and new episodes will probably start airing in October.
Yeah, so we'll take some time in between. We'll go to
Did you
UK.
see the
Did you see the German one yet?
No. No, I was gonna ask you if you saw the Kylie Minogue special episode of Ghosts. I don't know if it wasn't a whole episode, I don't think. I think it was a publicity thing or for charity. You know who
Oh,
Kylie Minogue is?
of course. She was
You
in Doctor
Oh,
Who,
okay.
but she's
Yeah,
saying, "La, la, 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 la." It's just
yeah,
like she's here again. What's
yeah.
going on?
Wow. You should do a
Wow.
duet. You should get into the music business, man. You're wasted doing podcasts.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
we should have a segment like they gave Alberta's Descendant to sing on the pod.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, this could be a lot of things, but
Mhm.
let's bring it to a wrap. Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
So they didn't do like a fade out and then come back and do a short. They just had
Yeah,
Flower saying, "Have sex now." Like,
yeah,
okay, Flower, that we,
yeah. That was
like,
a sudden ending.
yeah, it was a very sudden ending. So
Mhm.
it's interesting to see what's going to happen. But in the long run, we have a new budding relationship. We've got, Joan staying around. Joan, I would assume, would go in Sopsy's room because everybody's got a room that they kind of haunt, so to speak.
He shares with Pete.
Oh, he shares with Pete.
Yeah,
So
because
that could
remember
be
when he thought Carol and him were together? He says, "I don't wanna watch you and Carol play hide the sausage."
yeah, yeah. Oh, wait. That's another one. At the end, he's like, "Oh, Pete." Is it like he said something to Pete that kind of was like, "You could have said that a little better, buddy." Like
Yeah, yeah,
he
something
kind of
really mean. Yeah,
yeah, he was pretty mean to Pete. Like,
yeah,
why would I think that she would go with Pete or something like
yeah.
that? It was just
Well, he
You
kinda deserves that a little bit. I know he's a sweet guy, but he got a little arrogant this season,
Yeah,
about
he
his
did.
power and kinda insufferable at
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
But he's back to being his sweet self again, so
yeah, until something else triggers him, but he did that claw thing, "This is a hook, ah," I was like, "Alright, dude."
please stop. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, but, we are basically in the final few episodes. I think they're doing 23 this season, which is great.
22. Yeah,
22 or 23?
yeah. 22 from everything I've heard. It
Okay, so
depends
20
if you count the Christmas as 2 episodes or 1.
uh,
Because last season, when they did the 2 Christmas episodes, they considered it 2 separate ones, even though it was aired as, like, 1 episode. But this year, it looked like they were aired 2 separate
yeah, they did
episodes.
2 separate ones, very
Because I
behind
get the shows on iTunes, I purchase them every week.
Oh,
And when they did the first Christmas two-parter on iTunes, it was just 1 episode seamlessly.
oh,
But this season one, it's 2 separate episodes, so I don't know if that was
oh, so
just
it's probably gonna be 23 then.
yeah, could
So
be,
it's
yeah.
yeah, so it'll be 23. Alright, so we've got into May that we're gonna be.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The May sweeps,
yeah,
we
the May
like to call it.
sweeps. Yeah, all the sweeps, we miss those.
Yeah,
Miss the times of good old
yeah.
television.
Thr
Um,
3 networks and 4.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's, a lot of fun to still be had. We still don't know,
Yes.
what's gonna happen with now this new revelation. He's got a girlfriend. What's gonna happen? She could leave. I mean,
Mm.
there's no real reason for her to leave, but
Other than romance goes bad.
yeah, other than romance goes bad, but or maybe she falls in love with a giant monkey like she had mentioned.
King Kong,
King Kong, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Or she has to go back to wherever she died and recharge.
Oh, yeah,
Because she
that's a
said the longer she roams, the more she's able to stay gone longer.
yeah.
And
So
Pete
that
hasn't
doesn't
been roaming very long, so he has to come back sooner.
yeah. So that'll be interesting, and Sass can't
Mhm,
roam, so he's gonna be, like,
mhm.
lonely that those he'll probably be insufferable those weeks where she's not there.
Pining away.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah,
could be a lot of fun to be had with this new revelation and new
yeah.
character. I hope she's permanent. I hope we're gonna see more of her. I hope she's not one of those
Yeah,
I mean, because of the roaming thing and her needing to recharge, we're gonna have moments where she's not gonna be on, but I just hope it's not gonna be
right.
as often as, like, Nigel. He disappeared for, like, the most of the season. He was only in, like, 1 or
Yeah,
2 episodes, so
yeah.
it
I also am excited to see if they continue the ghost friends with Hetty and Trevor. I am loving that little bit. How
yeah,
they yeah,
that dynamic is a lot of fun.
yeah,
I assume they will, but I think they're gonna target other people because Flower is somebody they can't really
yeah.
mess with, and they know they can't mess with Alberta, so it'll probably be Thor or Basement Ghost or Pete, I think will be the next target.
Whatever's for their advantage to get something,
Yeah,
rule the house.
yeah. They're definitely gonna have to work with Pete because Pete's gonna have to leave that room for Joan when she's there, and Pete's gotta go somewhere, so
Yeah, and Trevor's got his own room now, so
yeah. So we'll see what happens with that, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. I just wanna say to everybody
yeah,
that's listening and or watching, thank you so much for doing those things. Be sure to follow us on social media. You can follow myself and the channel for the greater good at To Be Seen, and then if you want to follow my co-host, you can visit him at Tired Trekker, number 1 on TikTok.
that's on Instagram.
Mhm.
Tire Trekker by itself on Instagram or on, TikTok.
Okay.
Tire
And
Trekker 1 is just Instagram because someone already had Tire Trekker by itself, and he
bastard.
doesn't even post. It ticks
Ah,
me off.
what a guy. And be sure when you subscribe, you ring the bell so you're alerted to when
Yes,
our episodes drop, and make sure
yes.
you share it with a friend.
You
And
don't
while
wanna
you're
miss us.
yeah, you don't wanna miss this. We're gonna have a
Mhm.
lot of stuff.
Makes your
Uh,
week better. It's
yeah,
obvious. I mean,
it's
we've got the master impressionist over here.
yeah, I sound just like those people.
Yeah. I can't wait for your Whitney Houston imitation.
A fellow another New Jersey favorite,
They
you
are
know?
making a remake of Bodyguard, so
Hey, there we
maybe
go.
you could do
This is
the
my moment.
dubbing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you can go and check out our other episodes. We dive into the UK. We have a lot of
Mhm,
fun talking about that one. We're gonna be going back over the summer and checking that out, doing a lot of comparisons to see what's different
mhm.
between the 2 shows, and perhaps we'll check out the German or French one.
Yes.
Australia is the other one, not India, that they're gonna be
Oh,
coming out with.
okay.
So
At
that'll
least you
be
don't need subtitles with that one.
yeah. "Oh, crikey, mate. There's a dingo eating the baby." That's the
I turned
worst.
Sam on, remember?
Yeah, yeah. So, we appreciate you listening and watching. Thank
Yes.
you so much for doing so. Please give us a like, share it with your friends.
Tell a friend. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, phone a friend.
Yeah,
Uh,
phone a friend.
phone a friend and share our link with them.
Yeah.
All right. Take us out, Bill.
All right. I hope everyone has a hauntingly good day. See ya. Till next time.